Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. So here we are again. I hope everyone is doing okay. Well, I got control of my matches. They're still not really well controlled for some reason. So I hope everyone is doing okay. So I'm like a lot of people, and I was watching the debates last night, and I was thinking about the debates, and so I decided to do my own video, major concerns, minor concerns, no concern. Okay, today there was an email from the bank. Our teller has exposed you to the COVID. And my son goes, "You've been exposed." Major concern, minor concern, or no concern? Wow. No concern. I was in there a minute or two, in, out, and I socially distanced. And I'm not letting up until the end of the year. So we had 1,000 cases, one block away from where I live at San Diego State College. That is a concern. So, like, how can I overcome this concern? Well, for pretty much the rest of the year, just live as a separatist. I mean, if you know what's good for you. Where I walk, I see people in large rooms packed with people at church. That would cause me a major concern. Down here where I went to get some ice, long lines, 10, 15 minutes, not happening. So what I want to do is for the rest of the year, I don't want to make this COVID problem my problem. Okay, I think a lot more people who have had it than are admitting it. So I think it's very, very dangerous. So issue number one, the COVID, and it has wreaked havoc. And people have lost their lives. Okay, the economy caused by the COVID. Okay, I used to work shopping centers, like where I walk, and the reason you would want to work in a shopping center and you would want to pay that shopping center to work there is because they could deliver traffic. Today when I was up there, there's no traffic up there. So if you haven't been able to work, you got to find some other kind of work. The COVID is not over. That is my opinion. Where I walk, there's Target and there's Walmart. And some people dash in and out of those two major stores. I dash in and out of those two stores. I walk because I feel that no exercise at my age is extremely dangerous. It's brutally hot here, so the indoor aerobics is pretty difficult. Another thing is I live on top, so you know jumping around is kind of rude. Okay, now the election. Okay, the sane approach to the election is you go to the place and you vote. That's it. That's what the election is about. dragging all the rest of this stuff into the election is asinine. In the state of California, it's really asinine because we always cast our votes blue, but I am voting. So the best thing you can do is vote. Okay, now why get wrapped up in these protests? Okay, they tore our town up. I don't think that says much for the police. So if the police cannot contain these mobs, why am I going to get in the middle of these mobs? Because I'm not. Also, we have the military. San Diego, we are a military town. If the police cannot handle the mobs, then, and if you get into these mobs and you overrun the healthcare system, then that's going to be bad too. So, as for the election, try to pick the best candidate you possibly can and vote. Okay, so now, so in my opinion, the election is a minor issue. In all the elections, you go, well, I voted for Romney myself, and then, I was kind of relieved when Obama won. But anyway, they usually work out somehow. So in my opinion, the election is minor. Your job is to vote. If it is too dangerous, then your job is to stay safe. Okay, now, a recession, that is a major concern. So we want to do everything we possibly can to recession-proof our lives. And that is easier said than done. What I always used to do is work 2 and 3 jobs. Now it is hard to find one job. It would be better. I saw a guy today washing the windows, a younger man. In the shopping center with no traffic, washing window after window. So some people manage to work. I saw a guy, this is why I didn't keep collecting cans. Now, I saw a guy collecting the cans. Now, this guy didn't look like a down and out person. Like the people I tried to help, this person looked like some guy who was collecting the cans, who was going to get those cans and, was going to supplement his income. So, now, what are we going to do? I've been through several of these recessions. I know what I did. I didn't spend any money, just like I have not been all year. Okay. Recession is, I think, okay, the violence in the election is an issue, but it's not my issue because I'm not getting tangled up in it. And inflation leading to a recession is an issue, and we're going to get into that. And that is not like life and death, but it is an issue. So, number 1, pay down the debt. Don't get rid of your credit. You might need it. I think that is worst advice in the whole wide world. In fact, try to boost your credit limits if you can. They can come in handy. Like last month, I got 2 $100, cash back. No, it was 50 each. And, that was nice to have. Pay down your debt. Boost your emergency savings. Basically, just, in my opinion, save all the money you can. And you go, well, I can't save any money. Well, remember the cherry yogurt and the strawberry yogurt? And the strawberry yogurt was 30 cents and the cherry yogurt was 32 cents. Better to go and save 2 cents. So you do that 15 times, you get another yogurt. So you might be, oh, that's idiotic. Well, it will work. Okay, find ways to cut back. Oh, I'll give you an example. My car is a nightmare. I will not pay for a car wash. I wash it down with a bucket and then I spray it off. That's like one thing I do. I try to eat all my leftovers. That's another thing I do. And it just goes on and on and on. Sometimes just don't do anything and don't spend any money. That's a good way to cut back. Maybe your yard isn't going to be the best looking yard. Maybe, your house isn't going to be as good as the lady next door who pays somebody to clean it. And it goes on and on. You know, I used to like be around these people, and it was like okay, because I knew what I was doing. I was working all the time, and I wasn't spending any money. Okay, focus on the long haul. Now that is a good way to look at it. You know, I had this thing, little girls grow up to be big girls. Big girls grow up to be ladies. Ladies grow up to be old ladies. So that's, you know, like how life works, like it or not. Okay, as far as money goes, you're cheap one day, you're cheap the next day, you're cheap for a week, you're cheap for a month, you're cheap for a quarter, you're cheap for a year, you're cheap for a decade. And it's going to show in your life. Okay, identify risk tolerance. Okay, I would say if there is like any risk to your life, it's not to be tolerated. Also, in one of my videos, I went through uninhabitable areas. There are areas that are becoming uninhabitable. One of the things about the, you know, I live in San Diego, and it's been really horrible, and the whole state was on fire. And I like the idea of the forest people taking care of clearing the brush and everything, and that would create more jobs. I am not worried about the globalist big picture of the whole world. You know, we have floods, we have all kinds of stuff right here in America. Okay, continue your education. I'd say that would go on for life. And now, you know, you can do all kinds of things online. There's all kinds of things. How I saved all my money and bought real estate, stock market, anything you might want to know. There's books, you know, that they read. And so, you know, live within your means. Okay, so like, if you don't have that much money, that means you're going to live lowly. So the first thing to succeed in doing that is say, okay, just for today, because today and tomorrow and 7 days is a week, I'm going to live pretty lowly. I'm not going to destroy my life because this is my life, but there's no way I'm spending much money. Okay, now this one. Okay, so I have two suggestions, two approaches. One, stockpile food, and two, hoard cash in small bills. So, you know, you save $2 or 2 cents, you save 5 cents because you got some cans, you save $1, you save $10, so you have 2 $5 bills because we're hoarding small bills. Or you have $10 in quarters. Or you have, you know, 5 $20 bills, whatever you want to do. That would be my approach. Okay, find a way to create a merchandise business or a barter business. So you see my watches? What I'm doing is I'm going through my stuff, and actually these are pretty nice watches. They're cheap watches. I don't pay much for them. I try to get them for like $2 or $3. And so some of them aren't bad. Like this Armington has a brown dial, which is really pretty, and a date window. This Timex watch is it's got a white dial, and it resembles an expensive watch. Unfortunately, it's sized to fit a woman's wrist. And these are two Fossil. This one is a chronograph with a date window. And then these are two cheap watches, but with the white dials, and these have never been sized. So each of these watches, once I get them maintained, I would sell them for $10 each. Very reasonable. So I'm at the swap meet. Some guy needs a nice stainless steel watch for $10, and then. Okay, so now I want to talk to you a little bit about stockpiling, because one of the things about storing food and buying food is like, I had this thing, it was a list of things to do. Okay, so now it's the end of the month, and you have stored a pizza crust mix so you can make some bread if you start running out. This is a package of bologna. So this is going to make about 10 sandwiches. And this is a can of evaporated milk, or it could be powdered milk, and you mix this with half water, so you would have 24 ounces of milk and a sandwich. And then I bought fruit, 2 bags of fruit. One, usually I just drink this like tangerine juice, and then I just peel these and I eat them off of the cob. So once you start getting the hang of the food store, it's really going to help you out. And the way you buy food is really going to help you out. Okay, now for natural disasters. I mean, big problem, little problem. Well, just the fact that they're looming is a problem. Okay, here in San Diego County, you know, we could be stricken with earthquakes, but generally, if you live high, you're less apt to get, you know, to get shaken up by an earthquake. We used to live out in the hills. It was called Granite Hills, and the hills are literally granite. I was told, and I believe this, that when they wanted to build out there, they had to take dynamite to blast the tops, you know, so they could build the houses. Also, Sky Ranch is also pure granite. So if you find this stuff out, that's going to protect you from earthquakes. And those two areas are not too prone to fire. Okay, the fire areas are one of those areas you have to say to yourself, is where I'm living uninhabitable? Well, if you're going to be terrorized by fire every few years, I would say the answer is yes. Okay, heat waves. Okay, I can see, you know, we have had this prolonged heat wave. I can see how this could really, really kill you. I really could. We had one friend, and it was in Las Vegas, and the baby was in the back seat, and he got too hot, and they didn't know it, and he died. So the heat is no joke. And then there's the freezing cold. That will really kill you. My mom was raised in Elko, Nevada, and I remember that the snow would cover the roofs. They would be under the snow. That's how much snow there was. Volcanoes. Okay, my brother-in-law was hit by a volcano. They moved down here, and then they got the fires that almost burned them out. My poor sister-in-law. I mean, it was so bad. So, you know, living near any volcanic activity is probably uninhabitable. Tsunami, we don't have those too much, but they could always happen. And tornadoes. We have had funnel cloud storms, but tornadoes are extremely dangerous. So now man-made disasters. Explosions, chemicals and chemical spills, mudslides, those are deadly, oil spills, and then we have, a lot of us think the COVID was a man-made attack. And so it has worked so well, should we expect more? I would. Am I going to be worried about any other issues? Okay, the major ones in my mind are the COVID, the economy, a recession, stockpiling food in case of a food shortage, hoarding money, and watching where you live. Is this place safe enough? Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.